Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the Power Ranger podcast. I am your host, Dante Pittman, and here joining me is my co-host at the bottom. It's JWR from the Disney Brain.
Hello, greetings and salutations. I I hope you um wi- I know this is random, but it's okay. It's okay to come out now. April Fool's Day is over, so more likely than not, you should probably be able to trust whatever news articles you come across today.
Yep, and we have a special guest with us today. Originally from the Disney Brain, it's Dragon Raider X9.
Greetings. It's my great pleasure to be here.
Oh,
Great
no
pleasure to have
problem.
you.
And we got some topics to discuss, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have here. Today, we'll give our thoughts on Simon Bennett saying that season 2 of Down of Fury is done. Next, we'll give our thoughts on the Red Eclipter action figure. Then, we'll also give our thoughts on the Super 7 Power Rangers Ultimate Wave 3 teaser. And then we'll discuss episode 5 of season 2 of Down of Fury. So, let's get this out of the way. Let's start now with this. Simon Bennett saying on Twitter that season 29 of Dino Fury is done. Let me let me share my screen so y'all can see. All right. All right. I'll see. All right, let me make sure y'all can see the screen. Okay, there you go. All right. Simon Bennett said that season 29 finale is done and dusted. It's been a joy to have had stewardship on the show. Kudos to writers, cast, production crew, and post-production staff. You should all be very proud of this, and thanks to Ranger Family for keeping it interesting. It's been a blast. And it has been a blast, wasn't it?
Actually, there was one more part of that. Special.
One more part of that. Hold up. And special thanks to Chip Lim for trusting him with the gig. So, and it was a blast, wasn't it?
Well, it has been so far. Now, okay, I know Dragon as I know you have not fully caught up with not fully caught up with Dino Fury, but what do you what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my first question, I guess I'm not familiar with the production schedule of Power Rangers. Is this an average time for the season to be done? Does it run longer than usual, shorter than usual?
More times than not, yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad things are running smoothly then.
Good,
I
good, good.
know there have
All
been
right.
seasons in the past that have had some production problems.
Yeah. All right. So, yep. Thank you,
Uh,
Simon Bennett.
Before we move on to the next topic, I'd like to linger on this a little bit, mostly
Go
because
ahead.
the wording of the tweet itself fascinates me. But before we get into that, I guess I should preemptively start by saying by I guess congratulating Simon Bennett on completing the season. Thanks, thanking him for all of his work. Um, all that. But I think I wanted to linger on the way in which the tweet is worded, because depending on how you look at it, it can be interpreted several ways. Like you can look at it on you at face value, it reads like it's it there's nothing too much there's not too much if you look at it at face value. He's basically just saying thanks for the thanks. It's done. It's in the can. It's been a pleasure working on that. Been a pleasure working on that. You know, perfunctory stuff. But it almost sounds as if it's like a pretty definitive goodbye. Almost like you could look at it one of two ways. Well, you could either look at this as him saying good this as you could almost look at this as the end of his the end for now, like I'm done with this season, and maybe and and maybe he'll be back for another season. We don't know. There's probably a lot that Simon Bennett knows that we don't because of NDAs and whatnot. So you could look at this as either a goodbye for now, or you could just look at this as a straight up goodbye, meaning that he is moving on with the franchise after Dino Fury and moving on to other things. Really, it depends on what their plans are next, on whatever Hasbro plans on doing next for the series in the future. If this is goodbye, so if this is the former, just a goodbye for now, then I eagerly look forward to seeing what else he does in the franchise if he comes back. But if it's the latter and it's a definitive goodbye, well, then I guess in that instance, I would like to thank him for his contributions, his work on the series, and I eagerly await what he has in store for us in the last half, because I think he wrote or directed the last 2 episodes of the season. What are your thoughts on that? How do you interpret the way the tweet is worded, or do you think there's I guess a specific meaning to what he's saying or how he's saying it? I wanted to turn it over to you guys.
All right. I'll let our guest go first. Makes things more sense.
Well, the question that came up to me while you were making your point is, I wonder if he knows. Like, have they decided on the showrunner for next season yet?
Could be. Maybe. Could be. It's not. I mean, it's possible that he is just that he's being hush hush and doesn't want that he's being hush hush and doesn't want to reveal anything he's not supposed to before Hasbro gives him the okay. I mean, did we know definitively? Did we? I don't think if we knew definitively whether or not okay, so when Doug Sloane and Ann Austin were brought in during Ninja Storm and Dino Thunder, I might have to look into it, but I think they were just I don't know if they were slated to work on those 2 seasons, or if Disney decided to bring them back and continue shepherding the series until Bruce Callis took over for SPD. But I guess the point I'm trying to go with this is that it could be it could be a similar situation where Hasbro is playing it by ear. They're seeing they're waiting to see how the season turns out, and from there they'll decide on whether or not they want Simon Bennett to come back, or whether or not they bring him back, or whether or not they give him another go at it. It could be that. Was there more you wanted to add to that? I didn't mean to cut you off and ramble like that.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine. Although, since you did bring up Ninja Storm, I think it is worth remembering that between Wild Force and Ninja Storm was when they were moving production from America to New Zealand.
Yes.
And to be honest, I imagine there's a lot of interesting behind-the-scenes stories that would be fun to hear about.
Oh, there's many things. Oh, of course. Although, if I recall correctly, Douglas Sloane had been working on the series since Zeo and Turbo, and Austin, who had worked on like Disney Decom Productions in the 2000s. She had worked on productions in New Zealand, and it was the 2 of them that helped with the transition from Wild Force to Ninja Storm. Although I don't think they're. I think I don't think they're going to be moving moving production out of out of New Zealand. Though I don't know if they're moving production out of New Zealand. Maybe it could. Or I just thought of another thing. It could be possible that Jonathan Entwistle, who was working on the still kind of vague at this moment Power Rangers reboot film, excuse me, is they're bringing up that they are that he's coming over to New Zealand, and this is just speculation, but perhaps there's some kind of coordination between Mr. Entwistle and Mr. Bennett, depending on whatever their plans are after Dino Fury. Who knows? It's a bit of a stretch, but given that we know so little about what's next after Dino Fury, anything's possible at this point.
And of course, they're going to be very careful about whatever information gets out.
Oh yeah, no, we have been. It's funny. For these last couple of weeks, it's been a bit of a dry spell for the last couple of after outside of the announcement of Dino Fury season 2 of season 2 premiering and the actual day of it premiering. News regarding PR has been pretty hush hush. And I imagine that's deliberate on Hasbro's part, since they I imagine that's deliberate on Hasbro's part. Hell, we don't even know what Sentai they're going to adapt for the next season. By now, usually either by January or February, we would have at least known what was going to be adapted next. I think it was in January of 2016 when we found out that Ninja was going to be adapted. In January 2018, we found out that Go Busters was going to be adapted. In February of 2020, we found out about Ryu Soldier and so on and so forth. Here, it is currently April as of recording this. It is April 2022, and we still don't know what their plans are be in 2023 and beyond. Now, while I imagine that's deliberate on their part, it is a bit. It's odd given it's a bit odd given how these things usually go.
Correct me if I'm mistaken, but I tended to get the impression that these sorts of reveals are done at conventions. Am I wrong?
Well. Sometimes yes. Although, okay, so my memory isn't the best, but in February of 2018, we knew that Go Busters was going to get adapted, and I want to say it was in May or June or sometime around then that we knew it was that the adaptation was going to be called Beast Morphers. I don't know if we knew the title before or after it was announced that Hasbro bought Power Rangers, but around that timeline, we knew the barest of details about the show. It was in I think it was Power Morphicon in August of that year when we got a cast reveal. So whatever they're planning on doing, we will almost certainly know definitively by August. Or June. There's actually I want to say 3 big Ranger conventions this year. One close to me, one in Atlanta, the other one being Power Morphicon, and another one in California that's in November. But the one where we are almost guaranteed to get concrete details and confirmation, official confirmation, and not just rumors, is going to be Power Morphicon. Having said all that, though, it's going to be a bit. It's I imagine that we'll get if not related to whatever the next season, I imagine we got to get something before August, because I think the last Fan First Friday Hasbro did was in December. So I mean, So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that it's gonna continue to be pretty hush hush regarding details on Power Rangers because I guess Hasbro in recent years has definitely kind of tightened up on leaks. Like I don't know if you remember this. What?
I'm sorry. I just remembered I was following My Friendship is Magic.
Yeah, I know. I was
there
just gonna say yes. I know. Like, I think it was the first, an episode from season first, like the odd episode here or there leaked, and another. Like, at first, okay. So So Dante, I don't know if you know, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, another property Hasbro owns. Like, the show was, I guess, kind of infamous back in the day for leaks and whatnot. So I think at first it was like an odd episode here, an odd episode aired early online, leaked online, or maybe it aired early in another country, stuff like that. But then at one point, I think I think like the last couple of episodes of season 7 leaked, the first couple of episodes of season 8 leaked.
I remember like there was a big leak about what the new status quo for season 8 was going to be.
Yes, I remember that.
All right.
But yeah, so yeah, I guess so obviously somebody at the higher ups got the memo, and security has been, and like obviously somebody got the memo and saw, okay, what happened there can't happen again, and it's not going to happen here with Power Rangers. And like details have been pretty hush hush. Oh god, I hope somebody didn't get fired for that, but I wouldn't be surprised. But in either case, it is kind of funny how, in comparison to 10 or so years ago, they've been pretty good at keeping things on the down low, and not telling or showing us much of anything until they decide they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
So odds are we're gonna continue to be in this state of not knowing what's next until they decide they're ready, or until they decide on what the best time is to start doing reveals, which, as much as I don't want it to be, is probably going to be sometime in August during Power Morphicon.
So, and I admit I'm not the most knowledgeable about how hype cycles are supposed to work, but part of me wonders if this is a blessing in disguise for Dino Fury. That it doesn't get overshadowed by everyone speculating and hyping up about the season.
You know what? That's actually kind of a good point, because I guess like I did mention like at the like either before or during the second season, like ever since Nickelodeon has been starting this thing where the current season is divided into is like 2 seasons, where the current Sentai is split up into 2 seasons. They've always sort of done this thing either before the second season begins, where they reveal the upcoming season. And while it is nice to know what's next, it does kind of have the unfortunate downside of overshadowing the current airing season. So I didn't think about it like that, but I guess it does kind of make sense. They want the focus to be on Dino Fury. They want the focus to be on Dino Fury. They want people to think about and, I guess, get invested in what's currently happening. And then actually that kind of gives me an idea. That kind of gave me a bit of a theory. I suspect that this is just, I have no sources to back this up. This is just me speculating that the second half of Dino Fury season 2 could drop sometime in July. And my logic is like, so the first half of Dino Fury season 1 aired the first 11 episodes, dropped on Netflix on June 15th, 2021, and the second half dropped on October 15th, 2021. Likewise, Masters of the Universe Revelations came out in July, and then the second half of that show came out in November. So my thinking is, what I think could happen is the second half of Dino Fury season 2 comes out in July. Comes out in July. Whether comes out in July. So all the buzz and talk is so everybody's focusing on and talking about that. And then after the season is over, they could. After the season is over, after everybody's had a chance to see it and gather their final thoughts, then in August they reveal what they're going to do in 2023 and get everybody hyped up for that. So that way they could I guess have there be buzz and I guess get people talking about the current season, but not completely overshadow and undermine it by revealing what's happening next. So there is that to think about. We don't not saying that's what will happen, but it certainly could happen.
All right. Well,
did you have any thoughts on all this, Dante?
No. I was kind of hoping we'll go on to the next topic. This is what was taking a bit. All right.
That's fine.
Yeah, there's that. Shout out to Simon Bennett for that tweet. And hope we wish you continued success. There you go. All right. Now let's talk about this red Eclipter action figure. Let me go share my screen again. Oh. Right, here it is. Y'all can see my screen just in case. All right, y'all can still loading up. Okay, there you go. All right. All right. First announced alongside the Sword Ascension Project Dino Megazord during a first Friday event in December of last year, Hasbro has finally added the in-space red Eclipter to the Lightning Collection lineup. Pre-orders for the figure are live here at Entertainment Earth now for $24.99 with release date set for August. Note that Entertainment Earth is also offering free shipping on all orders for $39 plus when you use the code SPRINGFREE22 at checkout. The in-space Eclipter 6-inch Lightning Collection action figure features over 20 points of articulation, a sword, power blast effect, and a pair of interchangeable hands. It's based on the villainous Eclipter in its red superpower form. On a related note, Walmart recently held their first CollectorCon event for 2022. Oops. And the reveals included several Power Rangers exclusive. A breakdown of these exclusives can be found below. All right. Oh, yeah. So what y'all think about this?
It looks nice. I mean, not much to say about it, but it looks very nice. I'm kind of torn between whether or not I want the regular Eclipter that comes in the 2-pack with Astronomer or this. It looks nice. Let's hope the actual figure matches the promo images, but looks nice so far.
I think if it came to it, I'd probably I'm sorry?
I was letting you go.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying.
It's okay. It's all right.
If it came to it, I'd probably prefer Ecliptor's more iconic form to have it in my house. That is a pretty good looking figure. Again, if it matches the promo art. Or you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, I like it too. It's not bad. I like how it's red, because red's my favorite.
I still remember watching that episode with my best friend years ago, and the sudden.
Oh, it's Eric Lima, one of my friends. Hello, Eric.
Oh, hi, Eric.
We got him.
Hello.
How you doing, Eric? All right. Well, shout out to comicbook.com for this. Yep. Just stop sharing. Whew. Let's share. Whew.
No,
All
it's
right.
not much
Now,
to say about it. Looks nice. Hoping we get. I'm hoping we income. Hoping we I guess get a bit a few more details on what on any kind of. I mean, anytime we get non MMPR merchandise announces, I consider a good day.
Fair enough.
yeah. Oh,
I mean, I
right.
like Mighty Morphin as much as the next guy, but there are other seasons.
I know. And to be fair, like, okay, it's still and while that's still kind of a problem now, it's at least better than it used to be under Bandai. It's still a prevailing issue, but it's still kind of a prevailing issue, but
I'm
it's
sorry to
getting
cut you
better.
off. Eric says he's doing good. He's recovering from WrestleMania last night. He's on vacation from work, so I thought I'd stop by. Being a Ranger fan since the beginning in 1993.
I hear that.
Yeah. Well, hope you recover from Mania, and hope you enjoy the show as we go along. Now, let's talk about this stream. Now let's give our thoughts on this Super 7 Power Rangers Ultimate Wave 3 teaser.
I think we should for just to fill people in. So the Super 7 Ultimates line is Super 7's line of, I want to say 6-inch scale figures that come in some, I think, 7-inch scale figures that feature a variety of interchangeable parts and signature accessories. They include it. Thus far, they have unsurprisingly only covered Mighty Morphin Power.
All right.
Thus far, they have unsurprisingly only covered MMPR, including some of the Rangers, some of the villains, and the Megazords. And they just
All right,
teased the
here it
third wave
is.
of the line.
Sorry to interrupt, but maybe read this real quick. Making sure y'all can see. Release teaser MSZ figure, which likely is part of the third wave of Power Rangers. A set coming soon, which likely means the wave will be officially announced and go for pre-order sometime next week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. When more details become available, we'll be sure to pass them on to you. So, what y'all think about that?
Not much to go off on since we only have a single promotional image and we don't know the other figures in the wave, but it looks promising.
I do like that he has one of his grenades in his hand, but if I'm being perfectly honest, it kind of looks like a hamburger.
Oh God, I can kind of see that.
I can see.
Well, it also looks like a, no, I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah, please don't. All right. Well, thank you, Toy. Thank you. Come on. Thank you, Toy News International, for this. Sharing. All right. Whew. Okay. Whew. I think, for my thoughts, I think it looks cool. Nothing much, but it still looks cool.
Yeah. I'm very.
All right. Now.
No. Wait. Hold on. I want to just linger on this a little bit more. Again, the wave looks. We have time. I mean, the wave itself looks nice, although I am unsurprised. I guess to the surprise of nobody, I am I'll be, I guess, a bit more intrigued once we get past MMPR and maybe even Zeo.
I mean, where's our Rygar figure is what I want to know. Shoot, his name is Rygar, right? I didn't make that up.
I think so.
The big blue guy from Turbo.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Elgar, what's it? The guy with the
Yeah, him.
Him. I don't know. I don't think they've announced anything for him. Although given Turbo's less than stellar reputation, like I'm not sure that Hasbro wants to go anywhere near the more unpopular seasons. Although, so like least of all not. Well, like just to prove this, like they released a Lightning Collection figure for the Phantom Ranger, but they branded it as from In Space, which I mean isn't inaccurate since he was part of In Space, but he made his debut in Turbo, which I mean.
Yeah, I see your point. Also, it was apparently Rygog. I was close, I guess.
Uh-oh. Eric says Blue Satorian.
I mean, he's nice too, but I meant the villain guy.
Oh, wow.
No, you know what? If they release one figurine from Power Rangers Turbo, it should be the pizza.
Who now?
The pizza. Just a figurine of the pizza with the brain.
You know what? If they could, but if they do that, that'll basically be opening the floodgates, because if they're going to make a figure of that, then there is nothing. Then they at that point they have no excuse to make at least a figure from some of the lesser Neo Saban era seasons. Or no, a two pack featuring Troy in his human form and Robo Knight. You have a mission to fulfill.
Oh
God.
Wait.
Or
Eric says Rygog.
Yeah, that
was him. Or hell of a two pack of Victor and Monty.
Okay. All right. Let's settle down now. This is it here. Now we're gonna discuss episode 5 of season 2 of Dino Fury. It's called Stitched Up.
Now, given that this is the first time we've done a full on we've done, I guess, a full on disclaimer on this show, but we'll probably end up talking about this episode in full depth, though. So if you do not want to get spoiled, you can wait until I put this signal up again, so I'm going to put the signal up, and then when I put it back up, that indicates when we're done talking about the episode.
Yeah.
So, last chance.
Honestly, my biggest concern is based off the synopsis I read. It involves villains who I don't know yet, and that's apparently important.
Yes. Yes.
So I might not have too much to offer.
Right.
All right. Yep. We'll discuss. So we're gonna let our guest go first. Well,
I don't think he has any. I put this.
Oh.
He
didn't see it. Okay, that's my fault. I'm sorry. All right, we'll let JWR go. Go ahead.
Short version. I really, I guess, appreciated this episode. I'm gonna try to be a tad. I'm gonna changed my mind. I wanted to be, and I decided to be a tad bit more vague than with this discussion than last week's. But I really enjoyed it, and I mostly because of the way in which they handled the message of the episode. It's done. It's like one thing that I like about the season so far is that they're avoiding most of the pitfalls of the lesson of the day episodes. Like it's apparent what the message is, but it's so far they've been doing it in a way that doesn't feel as condescending as it has been in this in the last 10 years.
Which is appreciated.
Yes, much appreciated.
I mean, I understand Power Rangers is a children's show. There's going to be a lesson, but there still can reach a point where it feels like you're talking down to the audience. And I think kids don't need that necessarily.
Right. I think that's probably been one of the among other things. That's probably been the biggest pitfall of the whole Neo Saban era has been has been the fact that the show has been made with the mindset of it's made for young children. We don't actually have to try hard. We don't actually have to make a show that's made for children, but that's aimed at children, but made with older audiences in mind. And I'll try not to go on too much of a tangent, but I think this mindset has kind of led to Power Rangers becoming stagnant and being rudderless for the last decade or so. Something that we are only now kind of starting to get out of now that we made the transition from Nickelodeon to Netflix. Now, okay, at the time I'll hold off on my next point.
I will say this though, regarding lessons of the day. I finish Ninja Steel Super Ninja Steel if you want to get technical, but I did often like the kind of ways that the mentor, I do not remember his name.
What's his name? Mick.
The way he would try and get the points across to the Rangers while they were struggling with something. I often did like that. Mind you, it could just be that the actor's good and knows what he's doing.
Right. Well, most of the time there were moments throughout Ninja Steel where I have expected him to go, and knowing is half the battle. Among other things. God, I don't want this. Going back to what I was going to say. Now I understand at the time, for the longest time, I felt that while I was not happy with Power Rangers, with how Power Rangers was with the direction of the show on Nickelodeon, I kind of understood that at the time that was the only place for it to go, because Disney pretty much washed their hands of the series after RPM and had no need for it now that they owned Marvel. So ABC, Disney XD, those were out of the equation. Although I don't know when, but I'm pretty sure Disney's ABC Saturday morning lineup is a thing of the past, along with all the big Saturday morning blocks like Kids WB, Fox Kids, ABC Family. Those were pretty much non-existent after, I can't remember when, but you get the idea. And so at the time, Nickelodeon was not a good place for Power Rangers to be, but at the time it was really the only place it could go.
Yeah.
Although having said all that, even though it was the only place it could go, it was still not a good place for it to be. And if the show continued to be on Nickelodeon, I'm pretty sure it would have eventually just just died out. Hence why I am glad it has come over to Netflix, because like the difference in quality and direction is surprisingly more stark than I expected it to be. Like, again, we're not going to go into spoilers because since we have a guest here, but the glow up, there's a surprisingly stark contrast between Dino Fury in season 1 and Dino Fury in season 2.
Interesting.
Yes.
You don't see that much of a change in overall quality of stuff and whatnot.
No, but I think there's a reasoning for that, because I think Simon Bennett on Twitter said that Dino Fury was just intended to be a 22 minute season, a 22 minute season on Nickelodeon before they officially announced that the show was making the jump to Netflix, and then they wrote an additional 20. I wrote an additional 22 episodes with the intention of it being serialized. And hey, also I don't know where you stand on this, but you may or may not be delighted to hear that there won't be any holiday specials in season 2.
Whoa, okay. I did not expect that.
I have not watched any of the holiday specials for the past several years. There have been some ones that were worth watching, but they tended to be the exception.
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't great. They tended not to be all that good. Although
I'm still trying to work out all my feelings on Robo Knight in Africa. I don't even know what I watched there.
Oh God, let's not go there.
Oh, fair enough.
No disrespect to anybody watching the show who happens to be a fan of Megaforce. The 5 or 10 people out there. I'm just kidding. I don't know whether you I don't know if this is considered like a major spoiler, but I think this episode or the one from last season was nominated for a GLAAD award, the Gay Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation.
Well, that's cool.
Yes, although again, for obvious reasons, I can't go into why.
I had heard rumors regarding one of the characters some months ago, which honestly I thought was pretty cool then.
Was it one regarding one of the Rangers?
Yeah.
It's true.
Am I allowed to say who?
Yeah.
Okay, the Green Ranger Izzy.
Izzy, yes, it's true.
At Izzy yet? Again, I've seen one episode, but still, that's neat.
Yes, very. Good episode. I'm not really sure I got much to add other than that. I enjoyed it.
All right. The thing is, okay, I guess it's time to get my thoughts in this. I like the episode. It was fun. I like how we see more of Fern and Izzy's relationship, which is very cool. Representing the LGBTQIA vibes here. And it's more, and I'm still, in my mind, I'm still like shocked that we have a first LGBTQIA Power Ranger.
Yeah, it's nice. It's
I'd
say it's a bit overdue, a bit long overdue, but better late than never, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep, it's very cool. I mean, I wish they could do more of that in the future.
They will. I'm almost certain that they will now.
But it would have been cool. It would have been more cool if we have Izzy have the Dino Knight battle
But yes, well, yeah, that's his, okay. For I don't. This is my yeah, that's his thing. He always likes to bring up battleizers in almost any in some way, shape, or form in every episode.
That would have been cool if we had a female holding the battleizer.
Pretty sure we have. Pretty sure we have it. Pretty sure we have at some point during a season in the past. But I mean,
that's more like the first time we ever get to see one was around in the XPD comics, but that's all.
Wait. Were these comics produced by Boom?
Yeah, by Boom, and it's like after the events of SPD.
Could be.
So for just to get some nitty gritty semantics out of the way, we're not including things like SPD swap mode as battleizers because that's like a team upgrade, right?
Yeah,
no,
yeah, that's a team upgrade.
Yes, team upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a team upgrade. I'm not counting the swap modes, battleizer, like battleizer, like cyber mode and sonic mode.
But my question is, does Samurai's black box super samurai form count? Since only one person can use it, but they can pass it around.
Does it?
I guess maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I just think you could maybe make an argument if you wanted to.
You could.
A black box. That's a power up. Is what you're saying, right, Dragon Raider?
Yeah, they use the black box to enter Super Samurai mode with the white cloak.
Yeah, that's their power up. Yeah, that's their power up.
I admit, I do miss the old battleizers. They were fun.
They were fun.
Goofy as all heck, but fun.
Wait, yeah, Goofy. It wouldn't be Power Rangers if it wasn't just. To be fair, would it be Power Rangers if it wasn't just a little bit goofy?
That's true. That's true.
I miss the old good days. Well, any more questions y'all guys want to add? Before we wrap this up.
I think we've just about covered everything. Exactly. I think we just about covered everything. Well, well, as far as we wrapped the things up as far as the show is concerned. What is your schedule like? What is your schedule? Depending on what your schedule is like next week, it would be this no pressure, but I guess it would be nice to have like a third voice or co-host on this, something to make us a bit more intelligible or coherent.
Yeah, we should have a third co-host. It would be justice.
I mean,
my Mondays tend to be pretty free as of late, so if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to come back next week.
We'd be honored.
Yeah, we'd be honored, and I think you would be great as our new co-host.
Well, thank you.
All right, hey, no problem. And I believe, that is it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys like it, please like it, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new video or when I go live. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thank you, JWR, for coming out.
Always.
And special thanks to our special guest, now co-host, Dragon Raider X9.
And thank you.
And you're welcome. And until we see y'all again next time, here we go. May the power protect you.
Always.
Always. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And we are officially... Come on. It's not letting me go.